The Love of Three Oranges by Hilary D. Piano. Now, this is a review for the NTID and COLA's Department of Performing Arts performance of The Love of Three Oranges. I saw it Thursday. I didn't really like it. But before we get into all that, let's just go through our questions and see what we got. Question number one. What expectations did you have for this experience? Well, I thought it was going to be really long because I heard it was a 3-act play, and I thought it would be funny and enjoyable a little bit. Well designed, but not too amazing because we don't actually have like a theater program on campus, so I didn't think it would be like over the top spectacle. Like, my God, I loved it. It was the best like cream thing on the world. What did I see here upon entering the theater? Well, the theater was actually a lot better. I've never been in the Panera Theater. I loved it. It was like really homey. I liked the atmosphere of it. Like, the stage was big. You could really see everything. You were looking down at it. You weren't looking up at it at certain points like you are in a lot of proscenium theaters. They were playing rap music and pop music, which was really weird because I didn't really associate like The Love of Three Oranges because it was like about knights, like what the program or like the original picture of it looked like. So I was like, why are they playing rap music? Like, is it going to be like pop culture-y and everything? Which it really was. And I was excited to see what that had to do with the play. What did you think of the acting, staging, design elements? The set looked really nice. I liked how the band was on there. The bar looked really nice. Some of the stuff that they brought on was really nice. But the acting, my God, some of it was way too over the top. Like, the person playing Fata Morgana was very over the top, and it was to a point where it was just so cringy to watch. Like, just a cringe-worthy performance on that. Like, every time she laughed, like, you could tell it wasn't genuine. Nothing she was doing was genuine, and I really just didn't like it on her part. Some of the people I did really like was the narrator, Cillian / the Gate. He was great. He was hilarious. The narrator was really good, and the Prince. The Prince was good. He was one of the only people that I actually laughed at. A lot of the times I was just like, this is cringeworthy. Like, everything about it was cringy. But yeah, other than the narrator and the Prince, I didn't really like much of the acting. What did you find successful, unsuccessful? I really liked the flow of the show. It was really upbeat. It was quick. It slowed down at times, but they were able to bring it back up. The set was really nice, as I said. They used the area well. They came up into the stands. I liked the clown. He was pretty good too. His acting wasn't that strong, but like some of the things he says and like did was really strong. What was unsuccessful? A lot of the humor. So like when I go to a comedy, like you wanna laugh. I mean, that was the whole point of this play. Was like they came out and were like, you gotta laugh, you gotta do this, you gotta be like happy during you're watching it. But one of the things that I noticed from the very beginning was I've done a ton of improv workshops and stuff like that. And one of the things, the number one rule of improv and comedy is you don't try to be funny. There's comedy in reality, and that's what comedians do. That's what improv is you don't try to be funny. You don't try to force it, because then at that point, it just reaches a point where it's really cringy, and people just go, that's not really funny. And like, you're trying to be funny, which is making it even less funny. So that was like the number one thing that I took away from this, was that they were trying so hard to shove in all these like funny parts that it was coming off just totally unfunny and cringy, that you just sat there and like, me and my girlfriend the whole time were just like, what is going on? Like, I kind of enjoyed it, but she absolutely hated it. She did not like the actor. She thought the Morgana person was so bad. But I thought that the comedy was just not there. And like when they were acting, it was okay. The story was okay. I mean, it had no point whatsoever from what I heard. But the comedy just wasn't there. I'd give it a 1 out of 10 maybe. One part made me laugh. Other than that, I was just like, no, not working. What overall themes did you find? The theme of love was the thing that just kept coming up, and that was obviously what it was going to be, the love of Three Oranges. It was about love triumphing, him finding like his woman, like she getting turned into a dove, him coming back, and I mean that was the whole point of the play was love always triumphs, evil fails, like the good guy's always gonna come back. How did I feel leaving the theater? I felt really disappointed. I thought the acting was really good, but like I said, the comedy just wasn't there. And for the 2 hours or whatever I was in there, just wasn't funny. I had like my girlfriend was like, I just want to leave. Like I have a ton of work to do. Just wasn't funny. And also, I did not like the intermission. It was like in the middle of nowhere, and then they came back and it was like 20 minutes and they were done. Like you could have just not had an intermission and kept going 20 minutes. Like it didn't really split anything apart. Like if they had done it like in the middle of the play and had done it like an hour, like that would have made sense, but not like hour 30 and then 20 minutes afterwards. Just didn't make sense to me. What messages did you take away? Love always triumphs. That was the main point of the whole play. Yeah, love always triumphs. What would you rate the production? I tried to think of something witty, so I said 1 out of 3 oranges. 33%, 3 out of 10. The comedy killed it. Other than that, the acting was the only thing that made it like not like in the trash. It was like up here. Oh, and the set. So yeah, I'll give it that like the 30% because there were like 15% of acting and then like 18 because of the set. So like 33%. But the comedy was like if like the comedy was funny and the things they did were funny, it would have been up here. But because of that, the cringiness like killed it. One thing to always ask yourself is why. I asked my girlfriend on the way out why they had the intermission. She said why they do the play. That's kind of harsh, but I kind of feel the same way. I know it was meant to be improv. Like reading the director's note at the beginning of the play said that they did. The actors improvised all their lines, making up dialogue. Like obviously it was beforehand because they couldn't do it with the closed captions if they were just improvising their lines as they went along. So the slapstick Virgil gags, I mean like audience interaction, they had like they talked to people like once or twice throwing stuff out, and then they asked like somebody heads or tails and then didn't do anything with that. I didn't get that part, but even though it was improv, they still broke the #1 rule of improv: don't try to be funny. There's comedy in reality. Yeah, nothing else to say. 1 out of 3 oranges. Squish.